Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Average Review. And today, we're going to be taking a blast to the past in two different ways. With the Mattel DC Universe Classics Al Pratt Golden Age Atom. Now starting off with the box, it's pretty standard DC Universe Classics packaging. DC Universe Classics logos here and here, along with the Atom's name, the wave, and what figure in the wave you're getting, along with this very unique Al Pratt Atom logo that I don't think I've seen before. I do really like how the buckles on his chest sort of form the A in the Atom logo. Of course, in the background, you have art of, some of the classic DC heroes like Superman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Flash, Batman, no Wonder Woman. Where is she? I mean, I think she's actually in the background with a bunch of other semi-transparent heroes, but I wonder why Wonder Woman isn't given a focus. That aside, on the back, we see a very, very detailed bio about Al Pratt Atom, at least, for an action figure box, along with statistics such as his first appearance, real name, occupation, base of operations, and special abilities, along with a shot of the figure, and also the other figures in the wave to build Stripe, which is the collect and connect. Or, if you're a normal person, build a figure. Honestly, for boxes, for action figures, DC Universe Classics might actually have some of the best. I mean, they're really colorful, and they give you a lot of info for these characters, so even if it's somewhat obscure, like, Al Pratt the Atom, you'll learn a fair bit about him just from the box alone. But I already know plenty about Al Pratt the Atom, so let's toss this box aside. Well, getting Al out of the packaging and his costume is certainly something. I mean, I genuinely don't know what to say about this that can't just be inferred from just looking at the costume, but it's accurate to his classic Golden Age outfit, which, despite its silliness, I really love. Especially the blue mask and cape combo. That really stands out against all the browns and yellows and bits of red throughout. Now, it's no surprise that this figure features a lot of reuse. That was incredibly common for the entire DC Universe Classics line. But he does have some new parts, like, for example, these buckles on his chest and these buckled gloves? Do they count as gloves because they don't cover the hands? Not sure. I'm pretty sure the boots are reused from Batman since they have that point. And the cape is also probably reused from another figure. But I am pretty sure that head sculpt is new, and it looks really good. Like I said earlier, all these colors really pop, and it's a Golden Age costume, and it definitely fits with the era of the 1930s and 40s. Now, in terms of the sculpting, he's actually, got a lot more new pieces than your standard DC Universe Classics, but let's see if the articulation is, anything to scoff at. Probably not, just probably acceptable. Now, his head doesn't really get any up and down, but it does turn all the way around, and the shoulders do the same. They also hinge upwards about 90 degrees, and they have bicep swivel right below his yellow sleeves. He's got single jointed elbows with a slightly less than 90 degree bend, and also wrists that can spin around. Now, I would like to mention he does have an ab crunch, but unfortunately mine isn't budging. Taking out a figure on a very similar body, Barry Allen the Flash, we can see he bends forward this far and backwards this far, which, the arch back is pretty good. Arch forward leaves a little to be desired. He does have a waist swivel, which lets him wind up for his atomic punch, and he's got the slightly weird DC Universe Classics hips that look like this, so they can kick forward and backwards a pretty good amount, and also do a perfect split, but they don't look really natural, do they? He's got a thigh cut, which, just like other DC Universe Classics figures, is very low down, but it does get a 180 degree rotation. He's got single jointed knees with a 90 degree bend, and ankles that can hinge backwards and forwards. So yeah, as I've said in other DC Universe Classics reviews, they're definitely, outdated in terms of articulation, but I do think that's still better than some of Toy Biz's more wonky and extra articulated figures from around the same time. Only some of them though, cause honestly, a good bit of Toy Biz figures still do hold up. Now, before we get into the comparisons, I need to make a bit of an important point. In the comics, Adam Al Pratt is stated to be 5'1". That's actually surprisingly important to his character since he's got a fair bit of insecurities about his height, and that's partially what led him to actually become a superhero. Now moving on to the standard male and female comparisons for this channel, we have the Hasbro Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows, Spider-Man, and Spinneret. And unfortunately, as we'll find, this Adam is the same height as a regular 6-inch action figure. Although for a Marvel character who shares a surprising amount of similarities with Al Pratt, we have Wolverine, specifically the brown suit House of X version of Wolverine, with the Hugh Jackman Wolverine head. If you're wondering about the similarities, well, obviously they're both short, they got short sleeves, and Wolverine is known for his yellow and brown, and also yellow and blue costumes, and guess what colors Al Pratt has on his costume? Granted, they're very superficial details, but hey, I thought it was kind of funny that they shared them. Taking out some DC figures, specifically the DC Universe Classics Superman and Wonder Woman, and yeah, the Atom is the tiniest bit shorter than both of them, but he's nearly the same height, which shouldn't be the case for a guy who's 5'1". For some other 6-inch JSA members, we have the DC Direct First Appearance Jay Garrick Flash, and a new addition to my collection, the DC Direct Alan Scott Green Lantern. Unfortunately, both of them suffer from the same problem as Superman and Wonder Woman. They're too close in height to Al Pratt. And yeah, same case for the DC Universe Classics Hourman and Dr. Midnight. But I do have a bit of a solution to this problem. Granted, they might be a bit too big, but here's the McFarlane DC Multiverse versions of Flash Jay Garrick and Green Lantern Alan Scott with the Atom Al Pratt from DC Universe Classics. Like I said, this might be the opposite problem of them being too big, but it's the best solution I got. And hey, I actually have the McFarlane version of Wildcat that was an exclusive to Target. Since he's a bit slimmer and smaller than most other DC Multiverse figures, he actually works even better with this version of Al Pratt. But as is tradition, here's the Golden Age Atom Al Pratt from DC Universe Classics with Hitmonkey and Goliath. In terms of accessories, Al doesn't come with anything specific to himself, which honestly is kind of fair. The only accessory I could think of that would work with him would be like atomic punch effects, and either way, DC Universe Classics figures weren't really known for having accessories, so I don't see why they'd give him to Al specifically. But Al did come with the head and crotch piece of the Stripe Collect and Connect. So, technically he did come with something. Alright, now time to talk about the price of this guy. There currently aren't many listings for this guy on eBay. In fact, there's only 3. 2, both being new in box, range from $40 to $55, and the only loose one goes for about $30. Personally, I picked him up new in box for $35 at a comic book show. That's pretty expensive for any single 6-inch figure, especially, the Atom. But there just plain aren't many Al Pratt Atom figures, and despite this guy being a bit big, he's still probably the best due to how good the sculpt and paint looks. So overall, like I've said, I love this Al Pratt Atom figure, mainly because I love Al Pratt as the Atom, but it does have its obvious flaws. For one, there's, I guess, the quality control issue of the ab crunch being stuck on mine, although I assume that doesn't go for all of them. But the real big problem is that he's simply not short enough for, well, Al Pratt the Atom. Especially since being short was kind of part of his gimmick back in the early days before he got his atomic punch powers. So overall, docking him a bit for the kinda lacking articulation, although he does get a bit of slack for being over a decade old, and especially that height problem, I'm gonna give the Mattel DC Universe Classics Al Pratt Atom a 7 out of 10. He is pretty pricey, and like I've said a million times, just plain too big. I'm still going to be adding this guy to my 7-inch JSA display though, since he'll fit in with those guys. If you've enjoyed this video, well, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, 'cause you deserve it. Bye-bye!